Thank you for joining us today for Bill 3 Private Vocation Training Amendment Act News Conference. Just a reminder that the information you were provided earlier, as well as the additional information you'll receive during this news conference, is under embargo until the bill is introduced in the House. No coverage or aspect of the Private Vocation Training Amendment Act can appear in media, including the internet and social media, at any time during the period of the embargo. Media representatives may not share or discuss any of this material or their contents to anyone who has signed an embargo acceptance form, including publishers, editors, producers, co-workers within the organization. Any media representative or media outlet found in breach of this embargo will be sanctioned to sanctions, which include a ban from future Government of Alberta embargoes. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us here today to discuss some exciting legislation. Today, I was supposed to introduce Bill 3, but that's going to be changed to a later time, the Private Vocational Training Amendment Act. The amendments proposed in this bill reflect our government's commitment to protecting students while supporting innovation and growth in Alberta's private vocational training sector. Private care colleges play an important role in Alberta's adult learning system. They offer diverse learning approaches to career-focused training and the flexibility to respond to the changing needs of Alberta's economy. The amendments outlined in the Private Vocational Amendment Act will strengthen this important sector, better protect students, and better align Alberta with other jurisdictions. Students make significant investments, both financial and personal, in their education. Through this legislation, we want to strengthen protections for students and address problematic behavior in the sector. For example, amendments would help us better address concerns about false and misleading recruitment practices used by some private career colleges. Bill 3 would also ensure that we can set clear rules about the use of third-party recruiters and financial incentives promised to students during recruitment. We want students to be able to make fully informed choices based on the quality of programs, not manipulative sales tactics. Amendments would also strengthen our oversight and enforcement tools. Alberta's reputable private career colleges have spent years developing the systems and competencies needed to deliver quality vocational training. And these operators have made significant investments to develop their programs and training resources to align with best practices in adult education. Unfortunately, recently, and some new and primarily new schools have prioritized growth at the expense of education quality and the needs of Alberta's labor market. This has created an imbalance or a problem in the private vocational training sector that puts quality training institutions, students, and employers at risk. Amendments in Bill 3 would help to improve quality assurance, allowing governments to assess the competencies of providers more rigorously before they start providing training. Under the proposed amendments, government would also be able to set program standards, including basic program requirements, industry-specific requirements, and online training standards. This would ensure that all licensed programs would meet consistent standards. Alberta's private vocational training landscape has evolved, and our legislation must adapt to reflect these modern realities. Amendments in this bill update language and align the legislation with current practices, including addressing online learning, which the current Act does not include. Alberta's private vocational training sector plays a vital role in helping students gain the skills and knowledge needed for in-demand careers. We have worked closely with private career college operators, student advocacy groups, industry partners, and others to ensure these amendments meet the needs of the sector as well as the needs of the students. Specifically, I'd like to thank Courtney Moe, Director of Community Impact at Momentum, Tim Ogilvie, Chair of the Alberta Association of Career Colleges, and Michael Sangster, Chief Executive Officer of the National Association of Career Colleges, all of whom have been invaluable partners and are here with us today. This collaborative approach ensures the amendments proposed in the legislation are grounded in real-world experience and are responsive to the needs of the sector. I am confident this legislation will support a stronger, more accountable, and more innovative post-secondary education system, one that serves students, employers, and the province's economic future. Thank you.
What if you knew that your actions could impact thousands, potentially tens of thousands of people? Well, this isn't just a question of policy. This is something that's personal to me as well. As a former student of a private career college, I needed a place that could help me with practical training and the skills I needed to get back to work in order to help support my family. That's what this does. This bill helps strengthen and recognize the value of private career colleges in the Alberta workforce system. This bill will help restore confidence for both students and colleges, the tens of thousands of Albertans that place their trust, time, and savings into career training. They deserve a system that protects them while also recognizing the legitimate, high-performing institutions that serve them. For too long, our members have carried the weight and stigma caused by bad actors. Broad, punitive measures and inconsistent processes have unfairly painted all schools with the same brush. Bill 3 begins to change that by clarifying roles, responsibilities, and expectations so good colleges can operate with pride, integrity, and confidence. The Alberta Association of Career Colleges is going through their own build strategy because we're actively developing new tools to train and strengthen Alberta's careers education system, from launching an ethics and integrity committee to developing a new accreditation framework and programs in compliance, financial literacy, and admissions licensing. Our members are investing in quality, and we're not waiting for accountability, we're building it. The Alberta Association of Career Colleges welcomes the Ministry's recognition that lasting solutions come from collaboration. Our members are ready and eager to be a part of the table to help craft processes, regulation, and policy that work together with transparency and trust so that we can strengthen our colleges and strengthen Alberta's entire post-secondary system. Together, we can build a future where students have choice in where they need to go, where they have the option to go to a system or to an institution that meets their needs. This is what the Alberta Association of Career Colleges commits to. I want to thank Minister McDougall and his team for taking this important step towards a stronger, more confident, and collaborative sector for everyone. Thank you.
My name is Michael Sangster. I'm the CEO of the National Association of Career Colleges, and I came here for one simple reason today, and that is to thank the Government of Alberta, and more importantly, even their officials who've worked tirelessly with our sector over the last couple of years to ensure that we worked together to ensure that we built a system that could protect students and employers and the economy of Alberta, to make sure we're training the workforce that's needed. I applaud the Minister and the government for recognizing the important role that our sector plays in training those workers, and we are here for the ride. Minister, we are here till the work is done to ensure that the regulations are in place and that students are protected, employers are protected, and we're building the workforce this province needs. And I thank you for your words, Minister, because you're clearly focused on the good and the changes that need to be made, and we greatly appreciate the approach. And I want to just again stop for a moment and thank the officials that we worked closely with over the last couple of years to get to the point we are today. Thank you.
My name is Courtney Moe. I'm the Director of Community Impact at Momentum. Momentum is a nonprofit that works with people who are eager to train for a good job, to grow their income and their assets. Many believe that education is a guaranteed ticket to a prosperous life here in Alberta. It often can and should elevate one's career, income, and quality of life. However, students have told us for years that a private career college education can be a real gamble. They shared that their hope was lost after spending tens of thousands of dollars on a poor quality program that left them with crushing debt and limited job prospects. They were sold student loans as free money, along with many other falsehoods. And there was little known recourse available. Of course, there are good colleges but it was difficult to tell the difference. So we are so grateful that over the years, students who have faced issues with private colleges have trusted us with their stories in hopes that others wouldn't face the same hardship as them. I think of Ozzy, a refugee who was enrolled in a laser beauty tech program at $9,000 and a student loan at a 30% interest rate without her knowledge. We celebrate the students who spoke up about their experiences when it felt unsafe to do so or when it felt pointless or hopeless. Without their courage, we couldn't have worked towards these proposed changes today. Today's proposed legislation, or Bill 3, this new legislation has teeth. It raises the bar. It makes it possible for students to compare their options and to attend a private career college with more confidence. Importantly, it gives students recourse in the case that they get tangled up with a bad actor, and it enables the government to take action against those bad actors. It's a win for all of us. Employment and career outcomes are likely to be stronger as a result of these legislative amendments. So we're thankful to the Government of Alberta and the team at the Private Career College branch for its dedication and work on this file. We also thank our fellow nonprofit advocates, and we thank the students for their patience and their courage. Thank you, Mr. McDougall.
Okay, now we'll move on to the media question and answer portion. To give everyone an opportunity, we'll start off by giving each reporter a question and follow-up. Please state your name and outlet, and I will start from the floor.
Hi, Cindy Tran with the Edmonton Journal. This is for you, Minister. It's in regards to how soon these changes will be implemented, assuming the bill passes, of course.
Yeah. Assuming the bill passes this fall, we would expect to have regulations that would be based on the legislation. We're hoping to have this ready by next spring. The spring is 26. There may be certain elements that might have to take a little longer to put into place. But my hope is that we would have the regulations passed and operable by end of spring 26.
So for my follow-up, I was hoping that you'd be able to expand on false, misleading practices that you've heard some of these institutions do. I'm wondering if you might be able to talk a little bit more in detail about what you've heard and why these changes are necessary.
Okay, well, there's been a variety of things that we're made note of. I mean, part of it is, what is the course, what are the job expectations, or what you would expect from taking different programs. What percentage of people end up with jobs from the program they're taking. There's been some issues about student finance and issues about how it's being presented to them, that things like student loans have to be paid back, etc. So there are claims made about the program and about what it can do, and we want to make sure that those claims are accurate, and we want to make sure that the information is available publicly, so that any student can see this information online and can compare and contrast and see what the options are available to them. So there's a long list of things that have occurred, but generally it relates to the quality of the programs, the job expectations from that, and a lot of it's student finance issues.
Any other questions from the floor? Can we go to the line? Operator, can we have the first question?
Your first question comes from the line of Aaron Zooms from Wildwire. Your line is now open.
Thank you very much. This question is for the Minister, please. Minister, obviously there's some changes you're coming towards regulations as well. Maybe can you give us an idea of how the hope is that this will maybe increase student confidence in the private career college industry?
Well, there's a number of elements. As I indicated, it's more assurance that the information that they're going to be provided is accurate and comparable, and that it has been vetted by a regulatory organization. There is also a provision in the legislation that we expect to create a fund, so that if for some reasons a institution is not able to complete a program, or they find that the information that's been provided has not been an accurate reflection of what they were promised, that they can get refunds. There's other provisions that allow them to extend the time frame when they sign on the dotted line. You will, if they want to change their mind, that they can go and do that. have the time to do that. So it's about primarily information, this knowing that the organization that has providing the program is stable enough to last and provide the information and details they want. Things like the marks and the certification that they actually have some kind of certification that is valid. That there will be refunds if warranted, and that the educational institutions will be held accountable for what they say about, and this includes, of course, so-called marketers who are often hired by these institutions, oftentimes on commission basis, to sell programs, and the institutions are going to be held accountable for what those marketers say about those programs. So there's a long list of elements, and that's just some of them.
Minister, I did want to ask about that fund. When is that fund going to be put into place? How big is the fund? And then for students who eventually will have to take advantage of that fund, is it going to be a full tuition refund, or is there a percentage that they would receive back?
Well, the refund, I think, will depend a bit on the circumstances that would warrant it, some kind of refund. Was it a partial refund? Is it a full refund? That will depend on the specific circumstances. The fund will be financed as a percentage of revenues that the pre-career colleges receive. The exact amount and how we see that fund being sized, that will be something that will be worked out with the industry going over the next several months as we set up the final regulations.
Is there anyone else on the line?
No other questions at this time.
Thank you, everyone. That concludes our press conference for today.